Rock and roll in the 80s was just fucked out. It was a spent force. Here comes rap. It's a whole new generation of aggressive, amusing, sexy talent. And just because they happened to be black, it didn't mean they weren't competitive with these rock and rollers. Certainly by the time they go on to MTV, and now anybody watching can make an A-B comparison. You know, John Cougar Mellencamp over here and LL Cool J over here, and which one is more compelling to you? Believe me, most people are going to say it's LL. And John Cougar Mellencamp has to sit the fuck down.
First there was a Yo in the UK on MTV Europe. It was hosted by a French woman, Sophie Bramley, who claims rightfully that she started Yo. I guess the difference is the context of the influence it had and the audience it had. The problem with it was without distribution, without viewers, they had a great indie show on. They figured out a few hundred people in Europe were watching it at a time. Now Yo in America, when it started, it was just the nature of America and the distribution, and all of a sudden millions of suburban kids were seeing rap in their homes for the first time.
We knew exactly what time it was on. It was like our main line to rap, especially East Coast rap. I grew up in Beverly Hills, went to schools in Beverly Hills, so it was kind of like we were some of the first kids that there was proof that rap was gonna really be something huge, because we were in Beverly Hills. It doesn't get more, rich or white or whatever you call it, and we were just like hypnotized by rap via MTV Raps.
It was the one thing that you had to see. You could record it on your VHS if you could figure that out, but it was no DVRs. You had one shot to check it out and forget about it. Like you had to be there to check out MTV Raps.
Oh God, MTV Raps was a religion. It was such a religion that I did not have cable. I would have my friends tape it. Saturday nights was like MTV day for most of America, but for me, Monday afternoon after school, when I had the tape in hand, that is when I saw MTV.
There wasn't much of an outlet to hear certain songs, so the chances are the first time I ever heard I Got It Made, I was also seeing the video. So not only was I hearing it, but I was also seeing how he was moving and what he was wearing, and that was what was so influential about it, was you got to witness a lifestyle, a code, that certain people were abiding by and knew about. It was almost kind of hush or whatever, and then you got to hear the music on top of it, which would probably be enough as it is.
So now here, you had a platform where you were reaching so many people across the world. And I remember Fab Five Freddy doing interviews when it was just a weekend show. And then they got Ed Lover and Dr. Dre for weekdays? Like, are you kidding? Like a real hip hop show?
It only came on once a week in the beginning, people forget. Then it went daily. And it was when it went daily when it really had like big wide stream effect. It was almost like the TRL of its day.
It started to become so successful that MTV went from an hour a week to 14 hours a week, where they played Dre and Ed's show twice a day, Monday through Friday, and then I think Freddie's show 3 times on the weekend. So it went from this cult thing to become, they put it everywhere they could because of the ratings they were getting.
The worldwide effect was like right now. Before that, people had to kind of take their time with their marketing. You might drop in the United States today, and it might take you a month to drop overseas. It was just the way things was working, and what MTV did was kind of blew it out of proportion to where artists like myself, we started picking our singles and our videos around MTV, knowing that if we was coming out with a single, we want to get the video done, get that to MTV first.
The request for performances, shot up through the roof. I probably did over 250 dates a year. Simply because of that platform going out into the world. Everybody wanted to see us as hip hop artists come perform live in their cities.
Imagine it's 1989. We just turned the album into Tommy Boy. The lead-off single, Do What You Like's out. It's doing okay in the States. Right before we left town in November, to do a 2-month tour in Europe. We shot and finished editing the Humpty dance video, and we forgot about that. It wasn't part of the show. It wasn't anything. That was way out of our mind that we had another song coming out. But what was going on behind our back was the Humpty dance was bubbling in the States, and we had no idea. When we got off the plane in LA, the airline staff were like, "That's Digital Underground."
We was like, wow, we have super made it. There's nothing else to talk about. We didn't have a lot of money then, but we were just like, just the recognition. And then all the artists that we looked up to were telling us we were dope. You know, seeing Rakim at the powerhouse, really going to the bar, and we see Rakim turn and go, "Gangstar, yo, I love your music." We almost passed out like the girls at a Teddy Pendergrass concert or something.
Yo MTV Raps, you know, from the time it came on the air, you know, it gave an opportunity to artists like Will Smith, what people considered mainstream at that time, but Will had paid so many dues to get where he was.
The Fresh Prince. Not, you know, a great rapper per se compared to, you know, Rakim or somebody, but blazing charisma on camera. In other words, he's compelling on the mic, he's gonna kill it on a camera. And you know that once you see him in a video on MTV.
I was thinking about Jump Around as like one of the high points of Yo MTV Raps, because it started Yo MTV and then it went to MTV and then it went major. Naughty by Nature was one of those records too. OPP started on Yo, went to MTV, became a huge pop record.
What they did was put the kind of value on it when all the other stations wouldn't play it. When all the older musicians said it ain't music. And when MTV, music television, took what was going on in the streets, what all the inner city kids was doing, by one, acknowledging it, but two, but not being able to handle too much of it at a time, you know, that's what gave it the value. That's like, ooh. So we're all crowded around the TV right when Yo MTV Raps comes on. Yo, what? Yo, haha.